I just thought the connections you were making, um, one with the kids, just your demeanor and stuff is just so pleasant. But then you were making connections within the meaning of the stuff that you were doing and showing the really interconnection between all the instruments. And then your aha moments when you talked about, oh, wait, this instrument is the same fret height as a guitar. The fingering's the same for this instrument over here. So with the cello, so that those kind of connections with the kid, I think kids were really important, and I appreciated that.
And the connections of, you grew up in a small town and went to a school very much like Oxbow, and just your experiences of what you got out of that, and also what you didn't, you know, how you learned some other things that weren't present in your school program, and talking about all state and districts, talking about sports and its connection to music. All of that was just perfect for this population of kids especially.
But even so, being a fiddler, and since your school didn't have a strings program, and it was okay to be in band with the clarinets, but it wasn't fulfilling that musical need, instead of walking away from it all, you found the chorus, and you really got involved in that and kind of extended that to kind of maintain that connection to the music. And then you really nicely articulated how that influenced everything else that you're doing now, between stylistically of French Canadian, kind of the southern rock influences and Nashville influences and stuff. So I thought that was just really a wonderful way to put it all together.
I personally was really struck in that when you first walk up and you're speaking in French, and you're singing in French, and you're speaking in French, and a third of the room realizes they sort of understand what you're saying because they're taking French class, and they're all kind of laughing to themselves because, oh, hey, I sort of maybe. But then I loved the way you took that and you translated it into a musical expression, that you took the cultural, the linguistic part. This is how it would sound if it was Russian. This is how it would sound if it was French or if it was German. And you're taking that simple, so familiar lullaby tune and expressing it in those different ways. And as I'm looking over the audience, I'm beginning to sense that if you went a little bit further with that Irish tune, there would be kids who would be getting up dancing. And they're just starting to move with the music without even thinking about it, but they are, and you've got them like in the palm of your hand. They're connected, and that was one kind of connection you made. You made other kinds of connections that, if I was a social studies teacher, I'd be beside myself. If I'm a science teacher, wow, the way you took the bow, oh,
that was great.
And oh, this is from a horse, and I'm looking and going, yeah, I know you have horses, and you have horses, and you have horses, okay. Right. And then I took my sister's hair, and it didn't work, and I'm looking going, oh, this boy is going, yeah, I would do that, I would do that. So your story, and then you make a sound with it. When you pulled out, it was a saw?
Reciprocating saw?
The reciprocating saw with the bow. All of the boys that are absolutely into tools are totally cracking up. So you had this incredibly diverse audience, and you connected with each one of them, whether it was music, it was culture, it was, oh, I just like country. Well, here's the country version of that tune. It was beautiful.
Exactly, I agree. And what was so great is you talk about larger concepts without talking about them.
Yes.
So it was all about creativity. It was all about the fact that we're more similar than we are different. But you never had to say those things. You showed everybody with your music.
Right.
And that was just brilliant.
And for 45 minutes, you had everybody in there. And if you didn't know this, but the range of students and abilities and disabilities that were in that room were just, you couldn't tell the difference between any of them. So it's that commonality that you kind of bring to them within the piece and stuff that you did. It was brilliant. It was really well done.
And when you came to the end, what was it? It was the last one. It was the Star Spangled Banner, according to the musician.
Jimi Hendrix?
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Hendrix. And they're like, yes! It's like, and look at the way he tosses his hair. Oh, yes! Afterwards, I had a 7th grade class. Oh, did you hear the fiddler today? Oh, yeah, that was way cool. And then we started talking a little bit about the difference between the morning program and the afternoon program. And I realized you had treated these two audiences similarly and yet differently. And really? He did that? Oh, that would have been cool. Well, this is what he did over here, and that was really cool, too. This is wonderful. Thank you for putting a
Then
smile on my
now
face.
my ability to bring all this back into the classroom and say, remember what Patrick talked about? I can have a direct connection to that in building kind of what they already know with and stuff. And one young lady who does play fiddle came in 7th period, and she just was all lit up and wants a pickup for her violin or for her fiddle so she could play like that and stuff. So the impact after you leave, you're not going to even be aware of, but it's gonna linger for a while.